limits. It's the point in which you think a behavior should not proceed. Now, we don't have a lot of time, right? But if we take the time to really try and set a limit, that means it's important to us. And eventually what happens is that student will either begin to comply because you will have the consistency that it takes, or the manipulation around trying to get their way will stop. Because they know that their manipulation is not working. They may not be cooperative as much as we would like, or as easily or quickly, but the manipulation stops. But with consistency and limit setting, you will eventually get that cooperative decision-making power that you're looking for. It defines boundaries for acceptable behavior, and it's more than rules. You see, rules and limit settings are completely different. See, limit setting puts the power on the child. It says, listen, that's your choice. And if that's what you choose to do, this is the consequence. You don't study, what happens? You'll fail, right? That's a natural consequence. But you're talking it out with the student. You're setting expectations. And this is the result of your behavior. A punishment leads to ultimatums. The major reason why people punish is because somehow or another a student has insulted us. And we have a knee-jerk reaction, and we say, that's it. That privilege is gone, right? You can see it. So, punishments lead you into a power struggle. It's dead end. There's no learning. With limit setting, the child learns. There's a lesson. You can give the same consequence, hopefully a meaningful one, and have the student realize, oh, this really isn't a punishment. I'm supposed to learn from this. Setting meaningful limits can be challenging. For example, if a child says, shut up, you're stupid, what do you know? It's easy to react by saying, that's it, no TV for a week. Or, no recess as I'm calling home. Clearly, there needs to be some consequence or recognition from the child that these are hurtful words. To encourage pro-social behavior and the ability for the child to appropriately express his or her feelings, we should first look inside ourselves. You see, an insider tip about punishment is that they are given when we feel as though we are personally insulted or our feelings are hurt. See, punishments don't teach children, but they do get their reaction right away. So realizing this tip, we need to rethink our initial reaction and consider setting limits. So in contrast, setting limits allows the child to learn what behaviors are acceptable and are not acceptable, while learning to take accountability. If your child or student speaks to you in a disruptive, disrespectful way, instead of reacting negatively, you can say, I'm going to give you time to calm down, then we can talk about this. Give it a little time, tell the child how you feel, label your emotion, and state your expectation. What is acceptable to you? For example, you can say, please tell me what you wanted without calling me names. If the child is quiet and needs a prompt, then do just that. You can say, if you're angry, how can you tell me? Then we can work out your frustrations together and whatever is bothering you. Now, because we need you to remember that this is important, that we need to use nice words to one another and show respect, what should your consequence be for speaking to me that way? You can see now the shift between you and now moving on to the child. Now the child holds the responsibility to take accountability for his behavior instead of leaving it on yourself. That is part of the learning process that the children need to make future positive pro-social behaviors.
Thank you for listening to the Student Success Beyond Expectations podcast, where school leaders, educators, and parents meet on behalf of children who struggle with learning. To bring workshops to your school or organization, contact Child Behavior Consulting and get started with resources available at childbehaviorconsulting.com, Amazon, and teacherspayteachers.com for ready-to-use resources and children's books. If you enjoyed this podcast, remember to review, subscribe, share, and give us a shout out on social media.